The under eye. In my opinion, it is the most difficult area on your face to conquer when it comes to makeup, especially with mature skin. What color concealer do you use? Which type of setting powders do you use? I personally have hollows and depressions under my eyes, and I have purple and blues under my eyes. I'm gonna wipe this makeup off so I can show you what I do. My under eyes, they are hollow, they're depressed like me, and there's some purple and blues and even yellows. Please make sure your entire face is well hydrated and moisturized, especially your under eyes before you put your makeup on. Great skincare will change the outcome of your makeup. I'm going to negate these hollows and dark circles before I put concealer on. First, I'm going to use some more skincare. This is Colleen Rothschild. There's peptides, hyaluronic acid, and caffeine in here with a peachy illuminated glow. So it's going to help draw some of your hollows out. This is not in lieu of a color corrector, but there's a lot of hydration. Need the smallest amount, like a little teeny like this. You can apply it with your fingers or you can use a brush. I'm going to do one eye so you can see the difference. I like anything that's going to give my under eye hydration and boost collagen. You can see the luminosity from here, but I still need to negate these hollows and dark circles. I'm going to use a peach color corrector. This is Huda Pink Pomelo. I'm going to designate the peach color just in the area that needs correcting. A little goes a long way. You can always add more. I use a tiny little brush and I just gently tap just to diffuse the color, and then I use my finger to tap it in. You can see what it's doing. I'm going to put a little more on. Now, peach is made up of yellow and red, but more yellow. Yellow negates purples. I'm only saying that because you don't have to go buy a yellow color corrector and all these different color correctors. Peach, most of the time, works well with dark under eyes. You're gonna let that dry down a little bit before you put your concealer on. Your concealer color is gonna depend on what you're working with initially. I'm using something called Light Peach by Maxine's Revenge. I also sometimes use a pink just for more brightness. I use Maxine's Revenge concealer. One is a hybrid makeup. You can use it as a concealer, a contour, or a foundation, and there's 69% hydration. I never apply my concealer directly under my eyes. I have too many wrinkles for that shit. And that's where you get in trouble with the creasing. It's going to get under my eyes anyway after I blend. I just use my finger to blend under my eyes. See, it's kind of getting under my eye anyway. And this is why I don't even wear foundation. You can just be so creative with your concealer. I have to put blush here, sorry. You need to let your concealer dry down before you put any setting powders, or if you're going to use another concealer for brightening, and I might just do that. For more of a bright look, which I love because it draws the hollows out even more, I like a pink tone, or if I thought about it, I would use my Quick Fix. This is hydration in a stick with a pink tint. Cocoa butter, seed oil, shea butters. I actually put this in this area here, and I sometimes put it right here and here. I use less concealer with this Quick Fix and the Colleen Rothschild that I was talking about. This is the color, just for a reference. I would put it right here, but I don't want to ruin my concealer. But a lot of times I do put this right in the corners, and then I put my concealer on. Quick Fix, Science of Pretty. I'm gonna put a little pink on right there. Now, you don't have to go light like white. You don't want to look like a maniac, but I do like the brighter under eye because of my hollows. Light brings things forward and dark minimizes. That's why my ass wears black all the time. If you need multiple layers of your color corrector, make sure each layer dries down before you put another one on. The same concept for your concealer. Setting powder. I never put a loose powder or even a pressed powder under my eyes. I always use a baked powder. This is Kosas Cloud Set. A baked powder usually starts off as a mousse or a liquid, and they add some hydrating ingredients like glycerin, and they bake it into a very finely milled powder. This does not draw all the moisture out from under your eyes. I don't have to use a lot of setting powder because my Maxine's Revenge dries down to a skin-like finish. I'm going to take a fluffy brush. Make sure your concealer is dry. I'm just going to twirl it around there. Tap it. Oh, I forgot. If you have any creasing, make sure you take care of that before you put your setting powder on. You're going to take any type of balm, a Q-tip, and you're just going to buff those creases out before you put your setting powder on. Now back to the regular schedule program. We're tapping, and now we're just going to tap that setting powder on our eyes. You can use a powder puff under here. I do not. I just do a couple layers. I know it's an under eye tutorial, but I need to add some blush. This is the final look. You can see the hollows are drawn out. If your under eye is getting cakey throughout the day, a lot of times just because your skin is not properly hydrated. Okay, so that is my under eye tips for mature ass baddies.